Is that Sonny's gay grandson? But yeah, so yeah. Oh, I've been through it. You don't know the tears I've cried.
Welcome to So Funny It Hurts. I'm your host, Michaela Gordon, and wait, let me take it again. I'm so sorry. That's okay. Hold on. I'm so excited I can't use my words today. Welcome back to So Funny It Hurts. I'm your host, Michaela Gordon, and I am so excited about the comedian that we have this week. They are triggered. They are trauma. They are Italian. They are my family. You may know them from the Wendy Williams show. Netflix is a joke. Often headlining here in Las Vegas. Please welcome one of my favorite guests, Nicky Paris, bitch.
Hi, what up?
Hi.
I am so happy. I mean, look at you, Mamma Mia.
Look at you, Mamma Mia.
You look like a little Zeppeli, like or something. You ever got his up and you're like, I want to lick the powder off. That's what you look like personified, and that is a compliment. And
this is why I had you on the show.
I hope it's not too forward.
It's not. It's giving very heterosexual energy right now.
I want to be a lesbian with you and Lisa. I don't know what it takes. I don't know what I need to do.
Nothing. You're hired.
I could buy toys, whatever you need.
Listen, you look like a beautiful Italian woman with your beard. I had to shave before I got here. I was like, can you see that on camera?
No, you look great.
Italian women have mustache. Listen.
No. You look like a bald seal. Which, in the right areas where you should. No, that's a compliment.
Listen to me. I am. I've been getting laser hair removal. And
Italians have thick hair.
Thick. I have to get it. I'm disgusting. I said, make me look like a dolphin. That's what I want to look like. But as an Italian woman, I went blonde a couple years ago. Do you remember this when I went blonde? And
I do actually, yes.
I fried all my hair off.
Yeah.
So I've been taking the pills to help my hair grow. Won't grow on my fucking head. Grows through the laser hair removal on my legs.
What?
It's disgusting.
First of all, one of my favorite things about you is how much you love to give back. Because I remember you telling me that you donated your bush to Locks of Love.
I did.
And that's totally not true. But first of all, did you know that if you're I think Italian people, that's like a Bob Ross wig that you could, if you were to take my pubes and put it into a wig, that's right. You remember Molly from the Big Comfy Couch? That's what it would look like. Somebody that got out of a clown car, or somebody from the Ringling Circus Brothers. No, that's the Chia Pet.
We have a lot to offer them.
We have so much to talk about. Yeah, but if you're a virgin, you can't donate to Locks of Love. Did you know that's a real thing?
If you're a virgin. I thought it was just if the hair's not virgin. If you're not a personal virgin.
Oh, maybe I have the wrong thing.
Maybe it's the wrong. No, it's if
maybe I still have a shot. Wait, okay, so you've had sex, they'll take your hair.
Yeah, you just have, your hair can't have sex. It can never be dyed, touched, pressed.
Dyed, D-Y-E-D.
Yes. You can be a whore. If your hair is a virgin, though.
Okay, because I was like, are they handing in the hair with like a clump of jizz in it? Like, what are they giving to these poor kids with cancer? Haven't they been through enough? They need your splooge.
Hair?
Right. So, okay, well, thanks for clearing that up for me.
Yeah, you're welcome.
You're not only a great singer and entertainer, you're also a WebMD aficionado, which I appreciate.
I'm a know-it-all. I think I know everything.
I know, but you do.
Whatever you need. I don't. I lie. I make things up.
No, but I feel like if somebody would be like, oh my God, there's a bomb in the studio right now, there's something about you that I feel like you'd be able to either decode the wire or just take your top off and, distract the killer. No, I just think you're hot and people love hot people. So I'd stand behind you if something were to happen because I think that you have a great body and I think you could distract.
You're everything to me.
You're everything to me.
I'm so happy that you're here. Okay, so let's talk very quickly. You're in town. You come to Vegas often because you've been headlining for so long. How long have you been doing stand-up now? You look 7 years old, but you've been at it now almost 20 years.
12 almost. I've been doing it since I was 17, which was so crazy. And I was just a kid when I first started, and now I'm just like a bigger kid.
Still a kid.
Which is, I'm still a kid. People think I'm 11 or I'm Sinead O'Connor, which I'll take. It's the haircut. I don't care. That's right. I'll play the Irish bagpipe all I want. And you know what? I've been doing stand-up since I was a kid, and I just started really having fun, I would say, in the last couple of years, because I truly don't give a fuck. I'm like, you know what? It's just been doing it for so long.
You know what my favorite thing about you is, and I say this with so much love. I love a lot of people, but my favorite thing about you is you really don't. You give fucks where they need to be given, but when it comes to like your artistry and you really don't give a fuck. You stand so true to yourself. You do exactly what you would do in any single room, and I love that. It's my favorite thing about you.
You're so sweet. You know what? you know what? If somebody hugged me as a kid, I wouldn't be doing stand-up comedy. That's what I always say. And you know, it's so funny when newer comics, when I do interviews and people are like, I think they'll say like they're just so fascinated by the process of comedy. But I guess because it's so natural, and I would behave like this if I worked at Walmart, which is
it's just your personality.
I know.
It's who you
it's
are.
It's a blessing and a curse. In my next life, I want to work at the Cracker Barrel and clean the rocking chairs and be quiet. It would do me a lot of good. I got in a lot of trouble in this life. I've lived. If I were to die tomorrow.
You did get in trouble recently. Like last week, you got in trouble. But I love this story.
Yeah. First of all, yeah. But but I will say that the more and more that you're doing it, like I'm just like, you know what? I go up there. I've been performing almost every night for like the last 12 years. Does it really matter to me that Barbara from Reseda with her double-decker toes, do I really care that she's going to go home to her house that she could drive? Like, I put so much opinion on what other people thought of me, and I'm like, you know what, fuck these people. And that's where I am. And does it get me in trouble? Yes. Will I get in more trouble? Probably.
Yeah,
will I stop? Probably not.
Never.
So,
but you know what? I do want to talk about that, and then we'll talk about how you got in trouble.
Oh,
because
yes.
I think that it's so easy to tell people, like, you can't care what other people think about you. But when you do break it down, like Barbara from Reseda, like who cares what they have to say? Like, who cares? Were you always like that? Have you always been this carefree since you were little?
No.
Or this is like a new thing?
A lot of people, I think I come off a certain way on stage as like powerful, and some people say scary. But I am very sensitive off the stage, and I do care what people think to an extent about certain things, but I guess in some ways it's kind of like an armor that I've used to like protect myself.
Same.
Same for you too. You know what it's like. So I would say that I made a lot of big changes in the last like year. That things I just weren't happy with in my life, and I've figured out a way now to do things that it makes me. I enjoy it more for myself. Has my performance or anything changed? No, it's just an internal thing that I'm like, this is how I could be happier doing what I'm doing.
Yeah, but I love that. I think that also it's the whole point of So Funny It Hurts. Most comedians are very sensitive.
I'm hurt. I need Neosporin, and I will demand one.
Chase,
bandages.
Get this man a Band-Aid right now.
I need Neosporin or an ice pack.
It's too skinny. I need a Band-Aid to cover your whole body.
It's so funny because I was fat for so many years, and I used to, when I would sit like this, my nipples
weren't.
I was bigger. My nipples used to rest on my knees when I would sit like this.
No, they didn't.
They did. I have nipples that look like Lunchable pepperonis, and I hope that doesn't change how you feel about me. If there is,
I love charcuterie.
If Hurricane Hillary, they could land a helicopter on my left areola, and you and Lisa and the dogs and your fucking Louis Vuitton bag, they'll all fit. We'll get them all on here. So yeah, this is like I lost 45 pounds.
No, you didn't.
I did since January, almost 50. And you know what's crazy?
I don't ever remember you being 50 pounds heavier.
Well, here's the thing. I would shop large, so people didn't know what size I was. People couldn't tell if I was an emu or a man or a small. I would keep people guessing. There was some trickery behind my dressing. So, but I just have a smaller version of the body I always hated. Like, it's still not great. Like, I'm just a smaller version of what I was already unhappy with. So, it's a looks world. And if anybody doesn't, people don't want to accept that. It's a looks world. Joan Rivers, one of my favorite Joan Rivers jokes, nobody ever put their hand up somebody's dress looking for a library card. And that's how I feel about life. It's a looks world. You want to look good. And I don't want to be ugly. And if you have a problem with that, you're probably ugly. And it's fine. Beauty's on the inside. Be who you want to be. But you know what? Maybe we don't need to see your sideburns, ma'am. All right? I'm sorry.
Okay, first of all, ma'am is me. And that's why I've been getting laser hair.
No. You look amazing.
You look amazing. I can't believe you lost 50 pounds. So was that part of the life change
you have to tell people.
Making?
It's like being trans or a vegan. If you don't post about it on Facebook 9 times or tell everybody and on Reddit, it doesn't count.
Okay, wait, were you a heavy kid?
I always had an emotional eating problem.
Yeah, well, you're Italian.
Stressy.
Hello.
Yes, manja. You know what I mean? Grandma's always like, Grandma. She's like, you're not eating? I'm like, Grandma, please, I'm throwing up blood. Like, how much more do you want me to eat? I mean, come on. And I come from one of those families, too. They watch you eat. And they,
I know. I swear to God.
And I made the mistake of telling my aunt one Thanksgiving, I love the sweet potato casserole. And now she makes it every year because she thinks I love it. And hopefully she'll see this, and this will kill 2 birds with 1 stone. And every year, she's like, Nicky, I made you the sweet potato casserole. I'm like, oh, fuck. And I'm not an actor. And it stresses me out to have to go there and be like, this is so good.
What's your aunt's name?
My Aunt Lauren. Well, I come
Aunt
from an Italian
Lauren.
family. Our families don't talk anymore. She's just
Oh, good. So
you
she
know,
won't watch
Italian
this.
people.
Oh my
no.
God, half my family
Italian.
doesn't speak. Listen, when my grandmother died, this is like sad and funny. We all knew that when my grandfather passed first, and that was a nightmare. Then when my grandmother died, we all knew that none of us would ever talk again. So when my grandmother was dying, we were all being very nice to each other because we also knew it was like the fucking last supper.
time.
We would never share moments again. And let me tell you something. That loyalty has gone and passed. Viv died, we don't speak.
That's exactly what happened with me.
Did
my
it?
grandpa died, and my aunt accused my grandmother, who's in her 80s, of killing my grandpa, and that she didn't call the ambulance quick enough. And there was a whole thing of who accused who of killing my grandpa, Sonny. And then another grandpa. I get in a lot of trouble. I love you. A lot of podcasts I try not to go on because I love you and we're like sisters. A lot of
we're
people, they invite
sisters.
you on podcasts. I'm like, I don't want to fucking sit with this person for an hour. I couldn't get here fast enough.
I
And I
couldn't
was
get you
early.
on fast enough.
I was the car ahead of you. I was here before you. That's how excited I am to
Nicky,
be here.
there was this Jeep parked in front of me and was just stopped in the middle of the road. And I was like, what's this fucking guy doing? And then I go, I bet you that's Nicky.
Yeah, it
and
was
then
me.
you got out of the car.
I love that the show is so funny. It hurts because I'm hurting. Allegedly, my grandpa was murdered.
By your grandmother.
But it was actually his wife, my other grandpa. This is another. And I was
who is this, the
robbed. I
paternal
was robbed out of
side?
a big inheritance. So I have a lot of anger that just bubbles out of me.
And we're here to talk
like
about it.
like a volcano.
So Sonny died.
My grandpa Sonny, yeah.
Grandpa
And
Sonny
I tell a lot of
died.
family issues on podcasts, and every time it comes out, it's a big issue with my mom. So I'm sure we'll get into a fight.
Why? What's your mother's name?
We both love Justin Martindale. I got in a
Love.
lot of trouble on Justin Martin's podcast.
Why?
Because my cousin is Alyssa Milano, and I love Justin, and I was comfortable with him, and I told all the family secrets about how Alyssa Milano used to sign autographs on my mother's back when she was a little girl.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you know Alyssa. That's the look of fear when a famous person knows another famous person. Michaela's like, uh-oh.
I'm like, it's either that or the Botox just hit. I can't figure it out. It's one or the other.
Alyssa was not nice to my mother, and we are related. We are cousins, and I used to always do a joke. The reason I moved to L.A. is because my cousin is Alyssa Milano, and I figured if she could do it, I could do it because I also have no talent. So I've said a lot of things about her, and I love her. She's very
Nicky!
talented. Alyssa, it's a joke, and you know what I mean? But the whole drama with is, my brother's disabled. He's in a wheelchair. I still think he's faking it.
I love. Oh, is he?
I thought I saw him get up to get Oreos the other day out of a high shelf. But anyway, so when my brother was born, he has spinal muscular atrophy, and they asked.
You talk a lot about your brother in your stand-up, actually.
Because my brother wants nothing to do with me, which I think is hilarious. My brother hangs out with Big Sean, and all he posts on Instagram is hanging out with my bro, Big Sean, family. I'm like, I'm your actual fucking brother. Are you fucking kidding me? That's how people treat me.
Stop.
In my head, I'm like a Carol Burnett, but people really treat me like, who was the lady from Honey Boo Boo? Mama June. People treat me. They see me
Mama
coming in, they just
June.
run like KTLA. I got in trouble on Justin's podcast, and my grandma was like, because they were so afraid that Alyssa was going to see it and that the family would get involved. My mom was like, "Oh, mother's a tough cookie. If Alyssa's mother hears that,
if an Italian woman is called a tough cookie,
I know that means she hit you with the wooden spoon.
she made those cookies.
Did you get hit with the wooden spoon?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I used to
got
like
hit with
it.
everything.
Yep.
That's my kick now.
That's right. Sunday sauce. I sit on the
Lisa,
spoon.
yeah, I love Sunday dinner.
Yeah, I was hit a lot, but I deserved it, and I was fresh.
deserved it too.
Yeah, I was tough. I wouldn't back down.
I see that though.
Yeah.
You know what happens?
I drove
Here's
them
the struggle
crazy.
with Italian kids. You want the Italian kids to be strong, so then you say, "I'm going to hit you," and we're like, "So do it."
Yeah.
And then they do.
Yeah.
And we're like, "Didn't hurt."
I would do that. All the time.
Oh, I did it too, and it did hurt. And I go like this. I felt nothing.
Right.
And then harder, and that's probably why we're fucked up.
Yeah. One time, my mom, when I was in middle school, went to go empty a garbage can, allegedly, on my head. And somehow the garbage pail slipped out of her hands. It hit me in the back of the head, and I was rushed to the hospital. And I saw this as an opportunity to tell them, I said, as soon as I get to the hospital, I'm going to tell them not only that you hit me in the back of the head with a metal garbage can, I'm also going to tell them that you guys abused me. And my dad, I remember distinctly, let me see if I remember the sound I heard. My dad started throwing up in the toilet, and he wouldn't go to the hospital.
You gave him oxygen.
I I gave him agita. You know agita. Nobody ever knows agita. My life has been full of agita, Michaela. Has yours? I'm full of agita at all times. So yes, he was full of agita and he was hurling because he thought he was going to be in federal prison. And I am proud that I took that risk. But yeah,
Listen to me. You have to be a child of this type of abuse because it is so funny to me. It's not, but the fact that your father was throwing up and your mother was terrified.
So they used to hit me with
Why are
spoons.
you like this?
So I used to hide the spoons. I got smart. I'm not as dumb as I look. I'm not just a pretty face.
Okay.
So I get hit with the spoons, and then on an off day, like let's say I'd get hit and I was bad on a Saturday, around Tuesday or Wednesday when everybody was focused on something else, I said, this is the time where I'm going to get the spoons.
Yeah.
So I would hide the spoons. So the next time it was time for me to get hit, she would look for the spoons and you just hear like, where the hell are the spoons? I had them all. I had a collection. I basically could have opened my own IKEA. And she was like, it's so crazy. I'm buying all these. All I do is buy spoons. Where are they? How am I going to make the tortellini soup? I had them all. And you won't be getting them back. Try me. And I've lived my life like that. I put my parents through the mill. My mom used
but
to
you're
say,
very close to your mother.
now we are. Well, you know, at first nobody ever believed in me or took me seriously. And now that they see the money coming in, now my mom thinks she's Dina Lohan. They're counting it all. They're going to Britney Spears me. No, I will be on a 5150 like Amanda Bynes roaming the streets by September. I'm open
so
to it.
exciting for you.
I am. Yeah, people, no one ever gave a shit until recently. And it's interesting. And
wait. How was your childhood then? I have to know because
I was very attractive.
Obviously.
I was shocked nobody tried to put me in a van. Actually,
You're actually offended that nobody tried to.
Yeah. They'd give me back, I'm sure. But I had great legs. Anyway, what was your question? Sorry.
Okay, so what made you be a comedian? What was it?
I never wanted to be a comedian.
Did you have any
No.
like, was it, I mean, aside from everything being very funny, what was
No one found me funny. I was never funny in the house.
Were you
Everyone was
bullied
always
when you
just
were
like,
younger?
They were like, oh God, he doesn't shut up. I hope he's not gay.
Yeah, okay,
it was
like
kind
for
of that
me,
vibe.
people thought it was very annoying.
Yeah.
Like that was always a word used and that was a lot. But I went with it. I thought it was funny, and
I was called Looney Tune a lot as a child, which it sounds like a racial term for somebody who's gay. But I was never really embraced. And then like people would go like I'd go like to school and I'd make all my older women love me. If you have osteoporosis, follow me on Instagram. Or if you have liver spots in places that you're ashamed of or varicose veins, that's my demo. And I'd like you to buy a ticket to see me before you die in 6 months. So don't wait. Get out your husband's credit card. I know you're a widow. Okay, what was I saying? No, all right. So I'm so sorry. I love you. I'm so happy that I'm here with you. What?
If you have liver spots,
no.
I can't stand you.
But yeah, growing up was definitely hard. But yes, that's what I was gonna say. So all the mothers of my friends would be like, "That's your son. You are so lucky. Like he is such a thing." And she never embraced me. So I never, and she'd be like, "Who is this person that everybody is talking about?" I'm like, "Your child." The freaking Keebler Elf. Who do you think it is? It's me. I'm sorry. The audio guys, like my ears, they just got back from Austria and now I'm deaf.
I host the show. They have to
we
do
like
with
to
my
yell.
levels.
I love to.
That's why I put the headphones on. I don't want to hear myself.
Yeah.
I blow my own ears out.
I know. Better.
It's not a hair thing. It's I don't want to hurt my ears.
Yeah. I'll blow the speakers out and also the guy who works at Chipotle. I'm above nothing. But I'm so happy to be here with you. I love it.
Okay, so when did you know you were gay then? Because
when I saw George of the Jungle.
Okay, that's fair.
I wanted to live in the trees and fuck on a pile of coconuts or whatever they have in the fucking what jungle was he up? I love the Rainforest Cafe, by the way. They're a sponsor for this show. When I saw George of the Jungle, I felt something that I said, I want to see what's beneath the loincloth. And that's when
bananas.
And I was always like when we'd play house in like kindergarten, like I was
the wife, the homemaker?
I was the slutty neighbor.
Oh.
I didn't know that's what I was, but that was the character I played.
Were you the mistress?
Kinda, but I was 6.
Okay.
So
good for you. Good for you for knowing that's
right. And I'm not above wrecking homes. I don't do that.
Yeah. Even
why are you
6,
laughing at that? That wasn't a joke. People are laughing at me behind the screen. You know what? When do I get to laugh? That's what I say. That's what I say doing all these shows. I said, it's so nice to make people laugh.
You
when
did
do
laugh.
I get to laugh?
You did. You went to David Copperfield.
I saw it. And
I saw David Copperfield. I loved it.
That's right. Even that little alien baby, I was like, ooh.
Loved the
What's your pronouns?
Baby.
I don't. That's
Hi,
right.
little alien baby.
That's right. And you know what I love about David Copperfield? And tell me if you notice this. He does a little bit of like when he's done with the magic trick, he does like a little like.
No, he's giving. He's a dancer. Flamenco.
Yeah, it was something I saw similar to when I saw Clay Aiken live. It was very much a...
Show us again for the people in the back.
So he'll do the trick and then he'll be like...
Ooh. And if you could make that a sound, what you just did for the people that are not watching, what would that dance move sound like?
Okay. No, I don't need lube.
Oh, beautiful.
It was almost raw and almost animalistic.
Yes, it was.
In a theatrical way that just fucked me in the dressing
room.
room. Yeah. I think there's something going on between them. I hate to start the rumor on such a nice podcast like this, but I was going to say,
rumors are true.
And here's what I think is so interesting. He does that show about his dad. I was like, I thought I had daddy issues.
I know,
does
he goes
whole show
in.
about his
it's a
dad.
whole show about his father.
Yeah, about his father. And I was hit by a belt, and you'll see me talking about it this month. So cry me a fucking river with your fucking UFO. But I loved him.
The car, everything. It was great.
Yeah.
So have you got to see many shows, or did you ever come for your first Vegas show?
I'm afraid to go to shows here because every show that I've gone to, I somehow become a part of the show unwillingly, and I'm always stoned. And I've been put on the spot twice now at the 2 shows. I never have a night off when I'm here. So last night was a rare night. When I went to go see Chippendales, my friend was in the show, and he made me a part of the show, and I was sick. And it was absolutely traumatizing.
What happened?
And
What
I
do
was
you mean
fat.
you were sick?
Okay, so it was the week between Christmas and New Year. I have so many stories I want to tell you. Can we just make this like the
Tell me all
Dick
the
Clark
stories.
New Year's Eve special? Let's just make this a 4-hour
Let's make it a 4-hour special. Chase, what kind of time do you have?
No, I'm totally kidding.
Chase has been away from me in Austria for over a month, so you can sit here for 2.5 hours.
I just thought you and me would be great on the Dick Clark telethon. Or no, Richard Lewis telethon.
I would love that.
Yeah. So
what was that face you just made?
Thinking where I was left off. Yeah. So the last time I went to go see my friend is a dancer in Chippendales, and I didn't realize it was like a strip show. I thought it was a musical. I'm gay. I didn't realize I'd see my friend's ball sacks.
Stop.
So he gave me a lap dance in front of all the people, and I had like tissues all over it, and I was like there by myself. I looked like some gay pervert on a Wednesday night going to see Chippendales.
No, you did have tissues all over you.
I did. I had my big Gucci jacket on. I was sick, and I get there, and they're like, "Oh, you're Nicky Paris, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." They're like, they had a table reserved for me right in the front. And I was just like, no, I just wanted to sit in the back and support and clap quietly in my scarf, Idina Menzel, and support the other performers. And they had plans to tie me up with rope, and I put a stop to it as soon as I got there. And they were angry. And I said to the lady, I was like, I kind of don't want to sit in the front. I'm trying to chill out. She goes, we had to reserve that table for you. We're sold out tonight. And I was like, okay, no problem. So he jumps off the stage. The show starts with him as a cop, and he gave me a lap dance in front of all these people, and this is my friend. I didn't know him like that, and I didn't realize he had such a body, so he jumps on me, and he's humping me, and I'm in this big Gucci jacket, and all these tissues sniffling, and I'm just like, no, no, no. I literally said, no, 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 no. And there was some old guy in front of me that saw that I was by myself, and he kept turning around to talk to me. The first 2 times I was pleasant. The third time, I said, sir, the stage is that way. Why the fuck do you keep... Because when I'm in a mood like that, I need a Midol at all times, and I said that to him. I said, why do you keep turning around? He was like, what are you doing after? He was gay and feeling me out. I said, sir, face forward. There's no show behind here. And if I see you again, I'm going to smack the back of your head. So then after the show, I see my friend, right? And I didn't realize he was kind of feeling me out to I don't know if he was trying to feel me out to be
What? Did he have
part
a
of the
crush
show.
on you?
No, he was like, I want to introduce you to the woman who's in charge of casting. So I'm like, what do I care? Who cast?
Wait, maybe did they want you to host?
I don't know what they wanted me to do, but I looked horrible that night. So it was me and some guy from Idaho who looked like he has a GED and can barely read, but he was very hot, and that's my type. That's not an insult. It was a reference.
Okay.
So it's me and this really hot guy. We meet the lady who's in charge and my friend who's in the show. And, I didn't know what was going on. I really just wanted to be pleasant and support. And, so the woman is talking to this corn-fed guy. She's like, what do you do? He's like, I work for Disney. I'm an animator. She's like, you should dance. You're hot. You're super hot. She's like, you should come dance here. What do you leave Disney? That's a shitty company. And I'm just standing there, and I'm like, is she not going to say anything to me? So I'm waiting for her to be like, you're really hot too. You should come dance for the show. And I'm just standing there, and then she says nothing, and then she goes, nice to meet you. I said, I'm one of the comedians at the Laugh Factory. I said, if you want to come laugh with hideous people, I'm across the street. She goes, I may take you up on that. So now that I lost 50 pounds, I want to go. It's in my head like a crazy person.
Let's go back to Chippendales.
I know, but I'm going to pretend I'm somebody else. I'm like, that wasn't me. That was Rachel Maddow. So now that I'm skinnier, she won't know, and maybe I'll have a shot.
Wait, I would go with you. I only went to
I would love to go. We'll get it hooked up.
I went years ago for my cousin's bachelorette party. I want to tell you something.
The people watching there.
The people watching is the best thing I've ever done. those horny animal women.
That's what I talk about in my act.
Those women are horny
I know.
devils.
I know.
I've never seen anything like it.
Some lady used
the
a moo-moo.
Me Too movement
I know.
is very alive
I know.
in the Chippendale
I know.
audience.
Who wants to see your grandma on that light? But you know what? When she takes her teeth out, it's not just for... You know it. Yeah, I'm just saying, just be open to what could really be going on.
We're going. Do you want to go?
I would love to go, and I'll get it
Let's
hooked up
go.
for us. We should go. I
Okay,
would love
done.
that.
Done. Happening.
Okay, great.
Now, let's talk about your shows. You've been killing it. I'm so proud of you.
Depends who you
But
ask.
you did a KTLA situation.
Okay, I'd love to tell you
Tell
about
me
it.
the story.
Okay.
Because I love hearing when comedians get in trouble because I feel like my whole life I get in trouble. I always try to do my best on things and then I get in trouble for being myself.
Yeah.
You know what happens? People are always like, be yourself, and then I am, and then I get in trouble.
Right, I always get that too.
That makes me feel rejected.
Yeah,
That's why I have
people are like, be yourself,
trauma.
but not that much.
Yeah,
I'm like,
but that's too much of
I'm like, what do you
yourself.
want me to be? Me as an invalid? What what version of me do you want? Like me who just suffered a stroke and sits there and be quiet? I can give you that, but be specific. So I performed on KTLA. They're doing a Summer of Funny. It's a competition where 3 comedians perform at 8 a.m. And you could see the number in everybody's bank account without seeing it because whoever's there at 8:45, you could tell they're looking for work, and that's why I was there. So I did it, and they gave really no guidelines. Just be PG-13, so I didn't curse But I guess my act is shocking. To me, it's not that shocking, but the way people react, sometimes I guess I'm shocking. And I said boner twice before 8:45, and I could just, if you have to watch the clips because the
God,
anchor's
that's so
faces,
awkward. Oh, it's
you
so
would have
awkward.
thought I said that I jerked off Osama bin Laden and used the turban as a cum rag. You would have thought what I said, the look of people were just like, and here's the craziest thing. People go on the news and they talk about shooting up movie theaters, but I'm scary.
Because you said boner?
So I finished the set. Everybody's like horrified.
Stop.
All I hear is an executive producer scream, "He said boner, not once, twice." So usually I've done KTLA a few times. Usually somebody will walk you out. They'll escort you. Nobody was anywhere.
Stop.
They couldn't get me out of there. They're like, "Great job, bye," and literally pushed me out the door. So I didn't see the video of when it came out until 4:00. I only had their reaction of how it went. And
Wait,
I
was
called
it
my
live?
mom. It was live. So they
God.
they bleeped out boner for when it was online. I called my mom, which was my first mistake.
Yeah,
and
always.
I said, "Mom, I said boner twice on 8:45 in the morning. They were not happy with me." She goes, "Well, why would you do that, Nicholas?" She goes, "Did we raise you like that to say boner? Is that how you want to go on TV?" I said, "You know what? Goodbye." And I hung up. So I just was in like, I don't know. I want to, it's the KTLA. People go to like, watching doctor's offices and things like
Yeah.
that. So I thought that I was like a local terrorist. They really made me feel like I was
Terrible about yourself.
Osama bin Laden in my Gucci shoes, like what I did. So I was like afraid to go to like the supermarket. I thought people were gonna have pitchforks. It was like, do I need to get a hat? And then the video came out, and I said, this was actually great. And
You loved it.
and they got a great reaction. So they're going to announce the winner this Saturday, and hopefully it's me. And I told them that if I come back, I will do a completely different set that is so squeaky clean. I'm going to dance. Maybe I'll do a silent jig.
Maybe you should show though.
But I've gotten a lot of trouble.
Maybe you should take a stand against the Chippendales lady and do a Chippendales act now.
Yeah, right.
You're
They'd
50
love that.
pounds lighter.
Well, that was my opening joke.
You've got
'cause one of the
beautiful
anchors
nipples.
it was his birthday, and I said, I'm actually not a comedian. I'm the birthday stripper. And that's how I opened the set at 8:45 in the morning. I also made a joke about, I also have a joke that I fucked more cops than a body camera. And that was also a joke I did during this performance.
No.
Oh, you have to
Nicky!
watch the video.
I will.
You have to watch the video just to see their reactions. You will feel, I might start a GoFundMe, and I think you might donate. That's how bad
I
you
would
might feel
donate
for me.
everything.
But I've gotten in trouble before.
would
Kathy Griffin got me in trouble one time. I don't even know if she knows this. I
How?
was tweeting back and forth. I was on the MAGA list. The MAGA bomber.
No.
I was on the list because me and of the people that were like, I guess he was targeting, because me and Kathy Griffin, like, we're friendly. I met her once
Wait,
in person.
Trump was targeting you?
No, the MAGA,
The MAGA people were
bomber.
targeting-
The
the
MAGA
MAGA
bomber, the guy who was mailing bombs to people, had like a list of people.
Very good.
And because me and Kathy were publicly going back and forth, I was like on the list, I guess, because of the public thing. So when I'll never forget it, was in Disney. I just had come back from partying in Vegas 4 years ago, and I started getting all these messages from like a reporter on CNN, and they were like asking me for a comment, but I was like on It's a Small World, so I had no idea what was going on. So what was my also first move? I called my mom. I said, "Mommy,
Why do
they're
we do
after
this to
me." I
ourselves?
don't know. know. I was
Okay,
like,
so
Mom,
why
they're
did you
after
say
me.
that the MAGA bomber was after you? What was the back and forth?
They had already caught him. When they caught him, they had a list, and I was on one of the lists.
Honestly, that's kind of flat.
Flattering. I know.
I love being on
I've also had a
lists.
stalker a couple weeks ago. Somebody was showing up at my house, and I think I have a control on it now. Apparently, people put air tags on people.
No, this is a thing.
What?
Okay, listen to me. Okay, so as a woman, I have to be very aware of everything happening.
Of course.
Because I'm also 5'2". Like, I have to know everything,
Yeah,
and
you
I'm in
have
a
to.
relationship with another woman. So I'm like psychotic. I send all these terrifying videos to everybody that I've ever loved. My sister-in-law, my niece. I'm so
I'll be
annoying.
waiting for them.
I will now be sending them
Great.
to you.
I'll be waiting.
But there are these situations where guys will like stand behind you if you have a purse. They'll drop the air tag in your purse, and then you won't see it if it's like a big bag.
yeah.
And they'll know everywhere you go.
Yeah.
And so one time, this is a true story. I was living in LA. I have my Jeep, and on my phone, I was hosting for Channel Q, the morning show, and I kept getting these notifications that there was AirPods that kept popping up, and they were it was following me. And I'm not a tech girl. I don't have AirPods. I don't do any of that. Like, none of this. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? The moment has happened where I have to like put into action the things that I've been preparing me and Lisa for.
Right.
So this is going on for days now. I had to wake up at 4 a.m. in the morning to get to drive to the morning show. So it's nighttime in West Hollywood when I'm still going to work. I'm terrified. My dogs are worthless. They're little. They're asleep. Days this is going on, and I'm scared. Like, I'm upset about it.
God.
Telling everybody, I'm like, I don't. If anything happens to me, you have to follow me. Finally, it pops up, the notification, and I'm like, they're fucking here. They're next to me. Wherever I am, they're next to me. At the same time, Lisa is opening her AirPod, and she's putting her AirPod in her ear, and I'm looking. The whole time it's been Lisa's AirPods. She got new AirPods, and I didn't think about it, and it was Lisa.
You thought somebody was killing
The whole time I
you.
thought somebody was stalking me. It was my own stupid girlfriend.
That is
and her new
hilarious.
AirPods. So
Oh
it turns out
my
I get to live. I'll live to see another day. But I was ready.
No. What
I
a
was
relief.
ready.
You're like, Lisa, I've never seen you so happy to be put on Zed.
Ever.
Or whatever she was playing.
I wanted to kill Lisa.
Does Lisa like EDM music? What does she
She
like?
does. She loves
Yeah,
that. She
I'd
loves
love
it.
to see her DJ.
She loves house music. I'll take you to
Okay,
go see her
I have a
DJ.
fantasy of you and I on a unicorn float in a crowd being
Say less.
carried to the stage to Lisa.
Say less. I'll make it
Okay,
happen for
great,
us.
Great.
And then we'll have
Perfect.
our air tags.
Great. Yeah, but that's the thing. So be careful. Yeah.
Okay, so what happened? So you were getting stalked?
I can't really say too much, but I will say
Oh, it's like a
that
thing.
somebody. It's my fantasy to be killed. I would love to be in a Lifetime movie and have Kris Jenner play me. I think that's what.
Beautiful.
I think that's what cinema
Goals.
needs right now. I think
Yeah.
the world is going through so much, and this is what could cure it: cancer, AIDS, everything.
Yeah,
Kris
Lifetime.
Jenner is me.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah. So
Okay, so what
I want to
happened?
star in a gay Lifetime thriller. Yeah, apparently. Yeah, I can't say too much, like I said,
Don't say
but
too much.
I will say
Does that happen though? A lot, because listen,
I
all
got like
jokes
jumped when I was a kid.
aside-
I outside somebody beat me out at my house outside my house like 4 a.m. I got jumped because this guy that was like obsessed with me when I was in high school. He was secretly gay, but nobody knew it. And it turned out that he was dating a girl that I knew in college, and she was crying over her. And I was like, he's gay. I was like, what are you crying about? But I thought she was my friend, and he told me I said that, so he jumped me outside my house. So I've been beat up before. And people tried to fight me at shows too. I know. People tried to kill me. People
Well,
want to kill
okay, let's talk because
yeah.
I had Jamie Kennedy on the show. Thanks to you. It was amazing.
Love
I
him.
love Jamie. I love him. He gave me quite a controversial episode. But I love him
He's so
for
much
that.
fun. Yeah, I get
I
such
think
a
he's
kick out
so
of him.
amazing. But when I went to go see your show, it's so interesting watching stand-up comedy now because I always feel like it was such a relief for people to go to. It was a place where people could let loose, they could have fun, you could just laugh. And it's really turned into like a very political thing. But now people find themselves getting very comfortable, like going on stage, attacking the comedians. Like, what has it been over the past year that you've noticed has changed? And have you been vulnerable to these people getting like violent?
So I think that it's just like the evolution of like Instagram Reels and TikTok, and everybody's posting all this crowd work. And some of them, I'm like, some of the videos I see, I'm like, you should really stop posting videos and buy a pen and a journal and keep writing. Because I'm like, some of these clips, but people just post all these crowd work things.
Yeah.
So I think that people see stand-up comedy and, feel like it's appropriate that they could just yell out because that's what they see online. And I was actually, the last show that actually wasn't the last time I was here, but it was when I was here with Vegas, he had an obsessed fan that interrupted the show. She would not stop, and they arrested her. And they put her,
What do you
she was
mean?
on all types of drugs, allegedly, even though she said it, allegedly. That's my favorite word.
I love
legally.
allegedly.
I know. I don't want to get a call from Celina and Barnes.
Never, or
anybody.
KTLA, so
yeah,
allegedly.
Right, not again. So, yeah, she just like wouldn't stop, and she was interrupting the show. And that happens to him a lot. Jamie, believe it or not. I don't know why. I think people are scared of me on stage. Like, not a lot of people heckle me. It's rare that I get heckled, I think, because I'm so... You've seen me perform.
Yeah, you're amazing. But you also
I very much have control of the room.
Guns a-blazing.
So
you're aggressive.
Yeah, I'm aggressive, so I think people I feel like they could tell that I'm going to fucking be... clap.
You'll bite back.
Oh my God, just like that.
That microphone.
Sorry.
Just like that.
I just had a stroke.
Good.
Earthquake. No, but yeah, you know what it
Hurricane
is. But sometimes I do feel like a zookeeper, and I've seen so much in the last couple months. Like,
That,
but I've always had people try
That would
to.
make me nervous. I think it takes a lot of courage. I was singing last night.
I will say in certain clubs, I appreciate the comedy clubs that have security, because when I came up in Times Square performing for people, and from God only knows where, in corners where they don't check their bags, and a lot of the comedians are doing like all these controversial jokes. There was one night somebody pulled a gun on the comedian because he said something to a Middle Eastern woman. There was like a Middle Eastern whole group that they were in from some country. I don't know what he said, but they had a gun and they had to shut down the club. I've stepped in human shit. There was one night that there was a guy, I think he had special needs, and he was just interrupting the show. They threw him out, and while they were throwing him out, he shit his pants while they were carrying him up the stairs. Shit down the length of the pants. I, of course, get off the stage strutting, hey, everybody, step right in the human shit. And everyone was like, if you would take the shoes home, like I said, have you met me? These shoes, we better do here. And I left them on the side of the street. I drove home barefoot.
Oh, my God.
I said, I'm not, yeah, these shoes are ruined. But I have seen, and I think it's just being, it's one of those things that I'm in control of the room, not you. So I always try to feel that too, like I don't know. It really is. I have to tell you, I've watched a lot of situations recently. I was like, okay, if I'm in this situation and I watch this person who I admire and respect handle it this way, when it's my time, how would I handle it? But it's, people are crazy. And especially like doing like...
Listen, I'll tell you what, this situation happened to me and I actually did think of you because I think that as much as I love comedians, I think that you also have to be very brilliant to be a comedian, and you have to be emotionally regulated.
Yeah.
No, you do. Because I had this guy the other night, I was singing, and he was really, really drunk. As you do, because Vegas is also a different beast, I feel, than any other city, because there's no limits here. There's no regulations.
Right.
It's whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. You're drunk all day. You can drink all through the night.
Socially acceptable.
It's different. Doing drugs here. You can do whatever you want. This guy, it was his birthday. His wife wanted me to sing him happy birthday. You could tell he was fucked up. I went up to him and I said, I hear it's your birthday. And he goes, what do you got for me, bitch?
That's what he said to you?
That's what he said to me. And I had a residency in Vegas years ago. I'm back now here. I'm so happy to be here.
She's amazing.
But I had to say, do I answer this clever? Do I stand up for myself as a woman? Do I let go of the fact that he's drunk and maybe I'm drunk and it's fake and blah? Do I just not sing altogether? I mean, I had to think of so many things so fast. I ended up letting it go. I also, thank God, wasn't 20 years old because I would have wanted to beat his ass. I would have had nothing funny to say. I mean, do you have to, in situations like that, just stay emotionally regulated, or have you lost your cool?
No, I am very in the moment. And to be honest with you, like doing stand-up, like I could do a joke and be talking to you and I'm actually thinking of something completely different, which is kind of like weird. Like I think a lot of comedians could do that. I'm sure I'm not the only one. I'm like, I was born with a gift upon a stone when the lightning struck me.
No, but you are.
No, but when I'm on stage and I'm doing something, like I could also see, like it's weird. Like I could be on stage talking to you and I'm also like, I notice what's going around here. So
you
for
have to
me,
be.
very much in my head, I don't know why I'm holding the microphone right now. Can you tell? my hobbies in college. I just kidding. I was very Catholic. No, I think it's a risk
Chasing me
in the
everywhere.
moment. In the head, I really will risk reward how crazy the person is. But you know what's one thing, and I love to tell this story. It's a quick one.
Tell me.
I did a show in New York one time, and there was this woman in the front row that just sat stone-faced the whole time. Everybody made fun of her because she literally, her face did not move the entire show. The show ended. She came up to all of us. She said, I was in a car accident. My face is paralyzed. And I love you all. So now that's what I tell myself. I am like, they don't hate me. They're paralyzed.
Oh my God! Wait, that's so funny.
And
but
I always
also,
try and remember. I know.
That's such like a good
I know. And then we all felt
lesson.
so horrible. We were like, well, I'm glad you're laughing on the inside.
Yeah, okay,
It was-
good.
Yeah, but I think it's a risk-reward thing. Like, there was a show in Reno when we were there with you. That some guy announced that he was molested by his uncle, like, during the show. And, like,
What
the
do you
comedian on
mean?
stage, like, was so professional, like, heard him out, made sure the guy felt heard. But everybody in the room was, like, saying that, like, when he sees, like, but just crazy. And I think a lot of people, too, they just need to be heard. And I blame social media. A lot of people, we'd like to hear less from you. I don't know who needs to hear that. You may
It's
think
true.
people need to know what. No, we don't. A lot of us don't want to know. It's better
You know
for
why?
you.
Because we're living in this mental health world. I feel like we grew up the same. I feel like we're the same age. I feel like we've been in the industry the same amount of time. So we've seen it all really evolve. We both love Joan Rivers. We loved comedy before you could ever cancel it. Like, it's a whole thing. And I think that in this space of mental health, we're like, you should be vulnerable. You should open up. You should talk about things. And where I think it's true, I think also some things you should shut the fuck up about. I think that, like, we've got this society of word vomit now. We've got this thing where it's not vulnerability. It's like awkward.
You don't know what people do to me after shows, and I love meeting people. People lay the craziest. Some lady will be like, I loved you. You were so amazing. I need to laugh more than ever. I was molested by a horse when I was 6 years old. And I'm just sitting there, I'm like,
They do. They tell you.
oh,
everything.
everybody tells me their whole life. So and a lot of times I love it and I'll listen, but sometimes some of the people I'm like, where did I go wrong in my life that I'm in this situation trapped by these people? Some lady, she lost a leg. She felt the need to show me the stump. I was like, yeah. And you know me. I
you'll go with it.
No, I was like, wow. Nice. You know what I mean? I'm like, at least you get, closer parking. What do you say? I don't know. I spent a lot of time around handicapped people. I could say things like that. My brother was a part of a group called Rainbow's Hope. And I was always like just a part of, because it was my brother. So people always thought I had special needs too. They just assumed because I was in the group. And my mom was like, no, he's just gay. But I just hung out with this entire group. So it was very interesting. I've seen a lot.
You know where you do remind me of Joan Rivers too, and I don't think
Everybody
a lot of
says
I know
that.
you
Everybody-
do, because she was my favorite. She was my favorite.
No, I get
so
it.
it's the
People
biggest
always say that, I think,
compliment.
because we're both from New York, and I guess we say things and we both like glamour. But
No, here's why. Because I feel like a lot of comedians don't do this, and I think it's the best comeback, and it's how I source my comedy. You cannot tell me my comedy is offensive because it all stems from truth. And for you talk about a lot of things in your stand-up comedy that people could say, like, I'm offended. And it's the clip where Joan Rivers was talking about, I think it was like a rape situation, or it was something with her brother, and somebody in the audience yelled, that's offensive. And she literally dropped her character and said, is that offensive? Is that offensive? Because it happened to me. That happened to me. I can joke about it.
I think it was
I get to joke.
with
You know what I'm
the
talking
leg
about?
in World War II, or the Helen Keller. She was a deaf kid who was in her documentary.
Yeah. Something. Yeah.
in a casino, yeah.
But then she was
And the guy was like, I have a deaf son.
Yeah. And she was like, my brother was deaf.
Yeah.
Like, I can talk
Yes,
about it.
yes.
That's what it was. And I feel like that's where you stem your comedy from, where people want to stay so offended, or where comedians want to say things for shock value. Everything you say comes from truth.
You know what? And there was a time where it broke my heart, honestly, when people would be like, you're mean, you're this, you're that. And and I felt like a lot of, I'm like, oh my God, do people really think I'm mean? Like, it's funny. But at this point, I'm like, you know what? I have to believe it. I'm the one that has to. If I think it's funny, and I think that it's a well-written, there's a lot of, like, on big shows and stuff, of course, I'll always try new material in smaller clubs, but I'm doing these big shows, like, nobody wants to pay money to see me fumble around. You know what I mean? And it's exactly what you're saying. It's my perspective on it, so it's unique to me. And I'm sure, like the anchors at KTLA, they might have been offended by a few things, but it's, you know what? It's a risk, and I have to tell you, the things that used to bother me, like I tried to do so many things for so many else, and I'm finally at a point where I'm like, I'm not a fake person. I don't care about this one's agent, this one's manager, and this and that. If I die tomorrow, I did what I wanted to do. I made some people happy, and I had a lot of fun complaining. And that's my favorite pastime. I love to complain. You bring something you hate, I bring something I hate, and let's bond over it.
And I love
Does that make me a horrible person?
Listen, nothing makes you bond closer than
I did the
over
old
something
Italian.
you hate.
Ancora!
I know. Why do they do that?
I know. Or the... Have you
I
ever
do that. I do it all the time.
Yeah, me too.
I do it all the time
Yeah.
because I get upset about
too.
everything. Okay, you got a lot going on. You've also opened up for a lot of people.
Almost Joan Rivers, actually. It's so funny you say that.
Did
because
you?
I got to hang out with her a lot, believe it or not. Well, twice, but that's a lot to me.
That's a lot.
When I was a kid, and she was so kind to me. And I have to show you
What was the best
pictures of
advice
looks.
she gave you?
You know, I was saying to her that I have a lot of like people that follow me overseas. And I was like 19, and I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't want to go, you know, what am I just going to go do a show in Malaysia? And she was like, take the money from where it comes. She goes, take it from anywhere. I was like, okay, no problem. But it was so funny because when I saw her, I had to be 17, 18, and me and my best friend from high school went, and we had fake IDs. So I didn't know I was going to meet her. I just bought like the DVD, and her assistant walked by and was like, do you want me to get Joan to sign this for you? So he took the stuff, she signed it, and then the stage, I'm actually performing at this theater in November. Well, I don't know, when is this going to come out?
This next week.
Okay, well, the show is going to be announced on September 12th. I want to say what it is, but I got in trouble this morning because my opener posted it. But it's a place where I used to hang out with Joan Rivers, and it's a full circle moment that I'm headlining there.
Stop.
And I was supposed to open for her, but I wasn't ready, and then she died. So maybe God works in mysterious ways.
Oh, wait, but that's amazing. So the place that you met Joan Rivers.
Yeah.
For the
Oh,
first
I didn't
time.
finish the story. So she walked by me to get to the dressing room, and I just said, thank you for signing my stuff. And the security guard tapped me on the shoulder, and he's like, she wants you to go backstage. So I went backstage, and we were drunk. We were kids. We had a fake ID, and we weren't ready, and we were just trying to be normal, and I was trying to be funny, and she was just cracking up at everything I said. It was such a... And then every time I went back, she would take me back. So I'm glad I really cherished that I got to share that time with her. But I get offended with I think I'm just sensitive to it because I hope that people don't think, oh, you're like a rip-off of Joan Rivers, because that's not I think that's my insecurity that people say that. Like somebody wrote that on my Instagram yesterday. They were like, you clearly studied Joan Rivers. I'm like, no, I never studied anybody. However, we're both from New York. We both like glamour, and we, go for things that maybe.
But
aren't
I hate when
politically
people do
correct.
that. They do that
I
to me.
know.
They used to do that to me with The Nanny. I never saw The Nanny in my life.
I remember you saying this, yes.
I never saw The Nanny. I
people
wasn't a
said that
fan
to
of
you.
Fran Drescher. I wasn't anything. And when I went on American Idol, they compared me. They said, "You want to be?" I said, "I don't know who that is, babe. Like, I'm 16.
hilarious.
I'm not at home watching the fucking
Yeah,
Nanny."
some of us work.
Okay,
during
yeah,
the day.
I was 16.
Yeah,
I
or
was
go to school.
hustling. I was
Yeah,
busy.
right.
But I know. I hate, or even like now when I sing, they're like, "Oh, you were clearly influenced by Amy Winehouse." Baby, I came up before Amy Winehouse.
Right.
I was on the show 1,000,000 years ago.
Right. But that's
I
my
hate that.
ego, so
but
I
it's
need
a
to-
compliment.
yeah.
I think they mean it as a
I'm sure.
compliment.
But that's, I have to, I'm just like, okay, you know how it is. But
Yeah.
don't you love, I get so many backhanded compliments.
I
Don't
know,
you?
but
And
it's too. But you know what I think too? Sometimes because your sense of humor, because of mine also, is aggressive and dark and edgy. People want to meet us there,
Yeah.
but they don't know how to tell the joke because they're not comedians.
I
So they
know.
just say something really fucking offensive. And they're like, right? Like, I'm like you. And you're like, no, you really just hurt my feelings and you have no fucking delivery skills.
I know. Or what about you? Somebody, are you going to put me in your act? I'm like, yeah, maybe if you do something interesting, maybe that'll happen. Or what about the guys that and I think a lot of I get a lot of straight guys that are attracted to me, I think. And a lot of times I think it's just because I'm funny and not because I'm actually gay. A lot of
people love humor.
Yeah. Yeah, right. I know. And I'm sure you get girls too that feel you
Listen,
out.
that's my
I
number
know.
one thing. I don't care about money. I don't care about gender. I don't care about anything. If you're funny, say the fuck less. I love funny people.
Yeah, of course. And they're usually the most damaged.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it works, yeah, exactly. You have to cherish. I forgot whose quote was this. I think it was Robin Williams, that when a comedian dies, it's like losing a family member.
Yeah.
Because it's somebody who made you laugh.
Yeah, it
I'm not
does.
chicken soup for the comedian soul.
Wait, let's write a book called
I would
Chicken Soup
love
for the
to.
Comedian's Soul.
One of my favorite authors is Anne Frank. And I always say that. I was like, if I was Anne, and it's obvious I'm not making a joke about the Holocaust and what happened, that was a terrible thing. But I wish I had the time to just write like that. And she had a hit book.
I don't know how to respond to that.
Oh my. I'm I'm a worker. I do. I think of whenever I think of Anne Frank, I'm like, you know what? If I was in an attic for years, I would come out with like the next Judy Blume. I really do believe that. And Anne, it's terrible, of course, what they did to her, but artistically, she really stood on that pen. And I really... Did they have Bic pens back then? I don't know, but whatever she was doing, I just admire the artistry.
Wait, can I tell you a story that Che Dorena told me?
Sure.
Che did my show.
That. Yeah, love
Amazing comedian.
Yes.
He did the show about 2 weeks ago. And we didn't get it on camera because we were just talking shit. And I don't know how, he was going to Amsterdam. And I said, I went to Amsterdam. I loved Amsterdam. He said, is there anything you would recommend seeing? I said, no, we just went to Anne Frank's house. It was so sad. My father's Jewish. So I was like, oh my gosh, it was beautiful. It was so sad. So he goes, oh yeah, I actually, I saw this documentary. It really wasn't meant to be funny, but it was really funny. I said, well, then I need to know immediately. Tell me right now. So apparently somebody was filming this documentary about Amsterdam. And it was a very serious documentary. And they were interviewing this guy. And they said, do you think that we should go to Anne Frank's house? Would you recommend it for the people that come to Amsterdam? And he goes, no. And then they go, oh, really? Why not? And he goes, nobody's home. And he thought it was so funny. And the documentary was so serious. And Che was like, you could read the room.
Hilarious.
And it was, I thought it was the funniest fucking thing I ever heard in my life. No, nobody's home.
Yeah. It's hilarious.
Why would you go to Anne Frank's house? She's not home.
She's got like old pencil cases and shit.
Yeah. Listen, I used to do a stand-up set about it, and I thought it was really funny.
I want to see you do stand-up so bad.
No, I can't do it anymore.
Why? We should do something together.
Fine, maybe I will. You know why? Because it's really fucking hard. And
I could see you being amazing at it.
But you know what?
But I still want to hear what you said. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm sorry.
Nothing. Well, first of all, I would get canceled for all my stand-up sets right now. I was such a big Joan Rivers stan. I really was. I loved the sharpness, the edginess, the brilliance behind all of her jokes. I don't think things are offensive. I think if they're brilliant, they should be said if it's said in such a clever way. And with cancel culture, I just can't sit with it. Like, I don't want to tell bubblegum jokes. Not that that's what comedians do now, but comedians are so brilliant. Like you know how to do it. And for me, I just, I don't want to get fucking canceled.
And I do get it too. I think it always just comes to just how good. Like one of my favorite jokes, I wish this was my joke, is one of the funniest jokes I've ever heard in my life. It was at Caroline's in New York City, and some guy goes and I think he bombed the entire set, but this one joke that I heard, I said, that is brilliant. He just goes, I think we could all agree that the worst school shooting of all time was High School Musical. And I was just like, that is so genius. That is such a good school shooter joke. I wish I thought of that. Like shit like that. Like no one could take away yes, it's offensive, but that is a great, well-written
take it
joke.
away.
Oh, of course. There's always going to be somebody.
But I'm so proud of you that you don't let that get to you. And I think that a lot of times in life those are the moments that people won't try things because they're afraid. They don't want to get in trouble. They don't want to get embarrassed. They don't want to feel stupid.
Yeah.
And why I started this podcast and why I appreciate comedians and why I love it is every single night. You don't know what the audience is. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know how it's going to land. And you go out there every single night and you just do your best to make people
Let me tell you something.
Laugh.
They don't know what type of mood I'm going to be in. That's who should really. I don't have to worry about them. They should be worried about me. That is the truth. Sometimes I go on stage and I amped up. Like when me and Jamie did a show. Me and Jamie performed at some shopping mall in upstate. I opened for him, and we got there, and we literally pulled up, and they were like, you have to go on stage right now. And I literally got out of the car in like 45 seconds. I had to go on stage, and I was so amped up that I was like Godzilla. Sometimes I'm like too powerful when I go up there, and you could just see that the people are like, they're scared. I see people sometimes like hide behind the menu. I love it. I love it. I love it too.
I love it.
But I think I just have one of those things when I go on, like you feel it. But it's not always, it's not a good thing. People are scared. People are like, oh my God, is he gonna hit us?
Good.
Yeah.
You should make them.
No, but yeah. But
take
I think
control
people
of your
afraid.
kingdom.
Yeah. And especially people, like if somebody, like the other night, I was just watching somebody, when I tell you, shove their fat fingers into a nacho platter and you ever see somebody when they lick the thumbs, but they do two fingers? And I said, sir, what are you doing? And I literally stopped. I said, I have never seen why don't you lick the plate? Like, just like think. And that's what I mean, that they should be afraid. If you're sitting there and you're touching I see everything from the stage. And a lot of things I'll make a calculated risk. I'm like, okay, I'll let this person slide. But there was just somebody there. She was like, had her hands down the man's pants. I'm like,
stop.
Would you do this when you go see Jennifer Lopez? No. So get your hands off your husband's cock while I'm pouring my heart out about how I have a muffin top and my brother can't walk. Have some compassion for the arts. But yeah.
You see it all up there.
I've seen, I'm sure I'm going to, and here's the craziest thing about my life. I haven't even seen the worst of it. And it's taken such a toll on me already. I have no doubt I'll be in a conservatorship very soon. I think it's what I need.
I'll come visit you.
Yeah.
I'll take care of you.
I would love
all right,
that.
so
Are we
we'll
doing
talk
this?
about high five. Cheers. I love you so much.
White socks
Wait,
on.
but I do want to
Horrible.
I want to acknowledge your shoes because they're so fucking
You're
cute.
so sweet.
Let me see. Put them up.
They're a
there so
little bit
people
of
can
like
see 'em.
a clog that,
No, I love them.
from Amsterdam. That this is
No,
what they wear.
look great. Look, even Chase is looking around. Look, he loves it.
Thanks, Chase.
I'm a fan.
They're cute, right?
Yeah.
Did you see any of this in Austria?
I haven't seen any of that in Austria.
Have you been feeling like you've been lacking? You had no comedy in Austria.
No, it's I don't know. I just sat there like with a frown on my face the whole time. I don't know what to do.
Yeah. Welcome back.
Is the state bird an emu?
Well,
No, that was a serious question. Wait, don't they have like exotic birds and stuff in Austria?
Did you see any exotic birds?
Yeah, I'll be honest. I was so busy. I don't think I saw any exotic birds while I was
Listen,
there.
Chase is a
You know.
singer. Are you going to give him Ave Maria a little bit or no?
Yeah, Chase.
I'll give you a little bit of the Toreador, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, a little bit
Are you ready for
Can
this?
you come on camera
Wait,
for
this
it?
is, come on camera. Yeah, please. Okay.
You won't be able to hear it.
Oh,
Well, maybe
sing it
you
just
will.
fine.
You will. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
No, can you sing it where you feel comfortable?
Chase,
Well, I'll do
And
it
for
right here.
people that are just tuning in, Chase is back. Thank God.
Chase, you have a girlfriend?
I got
He
a little
might
thing
now.
going on.
Listen, he was texting me.
I knew you were straight. I don't want to assume, but I saw your outfit. So, have you ever been in a situation where a girl has asked you to sing in the bedroom?
No, I date a lot of singers, so like.
Okay, so it's
yeah,
not-
So we're sick
yeah,
of
so
each
like,
other.
Okay.
Exactly. We're like, God, please just don't even
Anything
sing
but
around me.
sing.
Exactly.
However, Chase, I'm so happy, does have a girlfriend because he was sending me texts. He missed a couple big fucking flags waving to him, like, come be with me.
Oh,
he
yeah.
finally got the hint. Did you get
From the girl? I think you're talking about from you. I was like, this just took a turn. Poor Lisa. I was like, now we're going to cut
Nicky,
to the live stream of
could you
Lisa sitting
imagine?
home. Lisa's behind the DJ booth crying right now.
Yeah, sorry. It was
okay.
his singing. Okay, give
Oh
us.
yeah. Well, okay, yeah. So we'll just. It's been a while since I sang this, so it's fine.
So are you nervous? I actually,
No,
as a
you
singer,
don't have
hate when
to.
people do
Do you want me to
this
sing something?
No, it's
Nicky,
okay,
you
it's
open it
How
for
do I breathe without you? I won't go. Yes, that was the. I want to make sure you knew.
I
don't know the lyrics.
Keep going.
I don't clear. Okay. What other songs do I know?
No, that was a good song.
Ave Maria.
That's not bad. I like that.
Catholicism.
Yeah.
I took opera lessons when I was a
Catholicism.
kid, and my opera teacher, she was eating nuts, and she started choking on the nuts. And
That's
first of all,
good.
I used to pay this woman, and she'd be like, I don't see you as a singer. I see you as a comedian. I'm like, great, can I have the $5,000 back that I've been fucking spending all these months, Elena? So anyway, she had this. Then I want to hear you sing. But she was eating Chex Mix one day, popping them in her mouth, and she starts going, and I was like 15. I wasn't out of the closet yet, and I'm like, do I have to like give mouth to mouth to Elena?
Elena?
So I just kept going, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? And I didn't move or help in any way, and I just kept repeating, are you okay, 45 times. And then she goes, I see you as a comedian. You know who you remind me of? Will Ferrell is the cheerleader. I was like, it can never just be, you're a funny person. It's always like, you're funny, but also gay.
No, I would never see you as that cheerleader.
What can I say?
Okay, go.
I'll do a little thing. Sotto il pubblico flagello per gran sorte va crepar il meschino calunniato. I don't know, whatever.
Woo!
I don't know. It's been a while.
That was beautiful.
I think we're all scared and hard. So thank
Okay.
you. That was beautiful.
That's exactly my goal when I sing.
I'd like you to sing at my funeral.
Chase,
if
I
possible.
can do that, sure.
And I performed
We're
at funerals.
taking
That
bookings.
happens. I bombed at funerals. You have no
No,
idea.
you haven't.
Oh, my grandma.
What do you
Ra.
mean?
Oh, she was a Michael Jackson fan. And first of all, I'm in my own world most of the time. I went up to the microphone at
Did you
St.
just
Clair's
say
Church.
I bombed a
I
funeral?
bombed. Oh, yes. I attempted Michael Jackson material. at St. Clair's Church in Staten Island in front of my family, who I still don't really think are a fan of mine, but it's fine. So my brother was like, I walked up to the podium to give the eulogy, and the first I'm just used to people clapping when I speak. You know what I mean? So the first words out of my mouth were, thank you. And my brother goes, not one person was clapping. Like, you thanked a silent room. And then my grandma was the only person that believed that Michael Jackson was innocent. And me and my brother used to prank phone call my grandmother as Michael Jackson. And I thought that it was appropriate to usher that into the eulogy at St. Clair's, and the look of horror. The people in the pews had worse facial expressions than my dead grandma who was laying behind me. So I bombed. That was very upsetting and very traumatic. And then I had to do my grandpa Sonny's eulogy, and I said, here's my chance to try again. And it was worse because he used to give me cowboy boots. He gave me his cowboy boots, which was strange. I wanted to be like Jessica Simpson when I was in middle school, and I used to literally go to middle school with like denim shorts and cowboy boots. I don't know who the fuck I thought I was. So I tried to usher in some cowboy material, which also didn't go well.
What do you mean? What was the material?
I was just talking about how I wanted to be Southern, and my grandpa had cowboy boots, and I didn't care that we weren't the same shoe size, and he used to give me Ziploc bags to put on my feet so I could slide them into the cowboy boots. And people were literally like, is that Sonny's gay grandson? But yeah, so yeah, I've been through it.
That's
You don't know
okay.
the tears I've cried.
Listen to me. My grandmother, when she died, all she wanted me to do was sing Amazing Grace her whole life.
Yeah.
Her whole life. Please sing Amazing Grace when I die. And I was like, Viv, I'm not going to be able to. I'm going to cry. It's going to be so
hard,
upsetting
yeah.
for me. So when my grandma died, I said, I have to sing Amazing Grace. So then my family, who did not want me to probably sing Amazing Grace, I said, I will be singing it. So all morning, like it was a fucking gig. I was like warming up, training, getting ready.
Yeah.
I get to the church and the priest is like, okay, so the choir will be singing Amazing Grace. And I was like, no, I'm singing Amazing Grace, and it's a solo. I'm not doing it with a choir. This is from my grandma. And he was like, oh, okay, well, they just had to prepare. And I was like, I'm singing it alone.
Yeah.
And he's like, are you going to be okay to sing Amazing Grace for your grandma at her funeral? And I was like, I'm a consummate professional. I was on American Idol. I can do this. I couldn't do it. I got up. I said, I had to take a few minutes. And I said, couldn't get the fucking words out.
Oh my
I
God.
was so upset. Then I said, Amazing Grace, how sweet. And then I had to shut the production down. I said, I'm sorry, I can give you one, but on the microphone. I can give you one verse. Amazing Grace. The priest, that fucking priest, looked at me like this. I knew it. And I looked at him like this. I cried.
I think that was that priest from that movie
was
Doubt.
it.
No, I don't know.
I bombed that gig.
Luckily those other ladies in the choir probably haven't had a gig for years, so they were very excited to get to sing.
They were no, they didn't get to sing either. Nobody sang. The song was over. I shut it down.
Good.
If I can't sing, nobody can.
I'm so sorry. But
And
you know
I'm
what? I'm
sorry
sure
to
your
you.
grandma, you tried. That's what counts. I told my grandma I'd sing Somewhere Over the Rainbow at her funeral, and then I did the same thing. I didn't even attempt.
You can't.
No.
Singing is so devastating. Chase?
Well, I don't want to give you the stage hook or anything, but we're about 15 minutes into somebody else's time.
Bye. I love you. Oh my God.
Okay,
We have somebody else.
So sorry.
Okay,
It's
bye.
you don't understand. We both
I know
really
we're
have
in
diarrhea
love.
of the mouth.
Okay, I love you. I can't wait to see you.
I love you so much. Thank you so much for having
If
me.
you're
I think
in
you're so
Vegas,
wonderful.
Please see Nicky, Paris, bitch, here at the Tropicana. I love you.
I
I'll
love
see
you
you
so
soon.
much. Thank you for having
Goodbye.
me.
Get out. Bye.
God bless Austria.
So Funny It Hurts is brought to you by Pacific West Injury Law. Got into an accident? Contact Pacific West Injury Law. Also, there's nothing better for your mental health than a great workout. And our episode is brought to you by Fit Club, the only place to be. It's so funny, it hurts.